Good morning. It's Thursday morning, and on Thursday morning, we're going to read Luke 24, verses 44 to 49. Then Jesus said to them, "These are my words that I spoke to you while I was still with you, that everything written about me in the law of Moses and the prophets and the Psalms must be fulfilled." Then he opened their minds to understand the Scriptures and said to them, "Thus it is written, that the Christ should suffer and on the third day rise from the dead, and that repentance for the forgiveness of sins should be proclaimed in his name to all nations, beginning from Jerusalem. You are witnesses of these things. And behold, I am sending the promise of my Father upon you, but stay in the city until you are clothed with power from on high." So here we have Luke's version of the commission of the apostles, the sending of the apostles. He tells them that they should stay in the city basically until Pentecost, but that then they should go and proclaim his name to all everywhere, and that they are the witnesses of these things. Nowhere does he say, write it all down and we'll make this thing called the Bible, which will be infallible and perfect and indisputable and glowing with radioactive spirit. That all of that understanding of the Bible is just not in there. He says, you are witnesses of these things. So that, again, what we have is the testimony of witnesses that's been written down and recorded. We could say a whole lot more about that, but we're not going to. What he does, though, is he takes the law and the prophets and the Psalms and says, here's what it says about me. And he explains all the things in the Scriptures about him. And most of them are kind of symbolic or parabolic. They talk about him in indirect ways, and you have to kind of get the key to the symbolism. There's one example I will give you from Moses. Would be from Numbers. There's a story in there. They're in the wilderness and they're wandering around, and snakes attack, and snakes begin to bite them. And so Moses makes a snake out of bronze and puts it on a pole and holds that up, and everybody who looks at it is healed of their snake bites. And everybody who doesn't look at it, of course, suffers and dies from their snake bites. If you've ever seen a doctor's office with that symbol on the outside of the wall, it's a snake on a cross kind of or T kind of a thing. That's the caduceus, and it's that's what Moses made or something like that. Now, it's a long way from that to Jesus on the cross, right? But the symbolism is that you look at Jesus on the cross and you're forgiven of sin. You look at this snake and the snake bites heal. So it's a little different, but it's sort of a symbol of the coming of Jesus. And that kind of thing is all over the Scriptures. That's what he was explaining to them, perhaps. And it says he opened their minds to understand. So they didn't get it completely, but he says, okay, look, here's the deal, and explains it as clearly as he can, and all of a sudden they understand. And that's the moment when the disciples, excuse me, move from kind of half clueless to, oh, now we get it. And that's important for them. It's important for us to know that about them and to see their growth and see their changes, and pray, of course, that God will give us the same sort of growth. Well, I want you to have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.